the show. So tell me, what are some? I know you have some hobbies outside of school. What's something? Let's talk about the big one. What's the big thing you do outside of school?
I do professional league go-karting.
Okay, I do not know what professional league go-karting is, but I know what a go-kart is. So go-kart, 4 wheels, engine. It's like a smaller race car, right?
Yeah.
And it's a go-kart. So tell me all about it. So let's start at the beginning. How did you get involved in professional go-karting?
My dad took me in Romania, and when I was 4, he put me in a go-kart to see if I was good. So then,
when you were 4?
Yes.
Wow, you've been driving since you were 4?
Yes.
Wow. I guess you were pretty good. So professional go-kart, does that mean that you can win money and prizes and things if you win?
In championships, and there's 2 races at Vegas,
Okay.
and 1 race you get $2,500.
Ooh, so that's pretty good money. So tell me, so you got into it when you were 4, your dad put you in your first go-kart, and you've been going ever since, I guess, and you're in 5th grade now. So tell me, so professional go-karting, is there a league that you participate in or something like that? Okay, but so you go all across the United States. What are some of the races that you've been in recently? Like, where have you been racing?
On Sunday, I was at Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, like the basic United States racing capital of the world. That's pretty exciting.
Yes, but it's like 2 hours away, the go-kart track.
Okay.
Or 1 hour away.
So I know a little bit about racing, so I've watched NASCAR and Indy, and Formula One is my favorite. But are you a Formula One fan at all?
Yes.
Who's your driver?
Max Verstappen.
Oh my God, he's destroying everyone this year. It's just, I like Lewis Hamilton, but I really respect Max Verstappen, and he's so good this year. Okay, but back to go-karting. So so I know for different tracks, like, Formula One has all these things that wind around. Is your go-kart track like that, or is it more like an oval like some of the NASCAR tracks?
It's more like Formula One,
Okay.
Yes, but there's tracks that have more straightaways, there's tracks that's more technical.
Okay.
It's different kinds of tracks.
So when you talk about, I haven't even thought about this, so when you're racing your go-kart, so part of it is how fast your go-kart is, right?
Yes.
And then part of it is your skill as a driver, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And the chassis.
Oh, and the chassis. So what about the tires? Do those really make that much of a difference, or not that much?
If you're on used tires, you might be slower, and sometimes new tires make you half a second faster.
Oh, and I guess a half a second can make a major difference.
It can make a lot.
Okay. So tell me, so the go-kart you get in, they're pretty small, right? It's just one person, like one seat. It's almost like a little smaller Formula One car,
Yes.
almost, really. And so okay, I've been dying to know this. What's the fastest you can go in those go-karts?
65 miles per hour.
No way.
Yes.
In a go-kart?
And in the corners, 35.
That seems really, really, really fast. I mean, that's as fast as cars on the highway, except you're in this little thing. Now, do you have, obviously you wear protective gear, we should just tell everyone that. So you have a helmet on?
A helmet, a race suit, and it's not flammable.
Okay. So.
And a rib vest, a chest protector, gloves.
Wow.
And special shoes.
Okay. So how tight of a fit is it to get in there? Is it pretty tight once you get in, or you have a little bit of room?
You have, once you get used to it, you don't even feel it.
Okay, you don't even feel it. And then, so my question for the actual go-kart, do you have, is it like a car where you have accelerator and brake, or is it all hand motion, or how does that work?
It's gas and brake.
Okay, and then does it have gear shifts? Do you have to manually, or is
There's a KZ that goes 90 miles per hour.
Ooh, what's a KZ?
It's a shifter.
Okay.
And it's for kids over 12 years old.
Okay.
And they're like bigger chassis.
Okay.
The Mini Swift, because I'm a Mini Swift.
Okay.
And it's bigger, and it's way faster.
Okay, so so that's sort of like all sports. As you get bigger and older, they sort of step up like what you're doing. So right now, you said, what was the level you're at?
Mini Swift.
Mini Swift. And so are all the chassis and all the go-karts that you compete against basically the same size?
Yes, they're the same size, but there's different chassis.
Okay. So what does the chassis do? Is that just like how stiff it is, or how fast it can be, or what shape of it?
It's the stiffness matters, the axle matters. You can make changes in the go-kart,
Okay.
the front, the back.
So do you work on your own go-kart, or do you have a mechanic?
My dad
Your dad is your mechanic, okay, so he knows a lot. So, but you can communicate with him, is that a big part of the teamwork, is you tell him like what
Yeah.
maybe
Yes.
you feel slow or fast in a certain, so what's the most fun part of go-kart racing?
The most fun is the adrenaline, when you're with the kids, the competition.
So do you know some of the other people you compete against?
Yes.
Like, are you friends with them? Okay. Are any of them like your, do you have a rival or anything like that? Maybe one or two?
On track, they're all rivals.
Everyone's a rival. Once you get out there, it's you and everyone else is a rival, even if you're friends with them. That's how sports works, you know? I mean, and then, okay, so how much of a workout is it sort of getting in there? Like, do you ever get hot, and is it sort of hard work to steer?
It's, if you think about a 20-lap race,
Mhm.
it's kind of hard,
Okay,
but I go to Red Line Athletics
okay.
and I train physically, I do sprints, workout,
So you're
core.
it's a core workout, so this is like a athletic, you're in getting your body in top shape so that when you get in that car, you can do whatever you need to and have the endurance and all the muscle strength and stuff that you need to perform well. So what, when you're racing, you said some competitions can go 20 laps. Is
Yes.
that standard, or are they some shorter or longer?
Some are shorter. The race has been this weekend was 14 laps,
Okay.
and Las Vegas is 20 laps.
Okay, so that's pretty. And are you going to Las Vegas this year? Is that,
Yes.
Okay. So when will that race be?
It's in November, and it's gonna be streamed live on Kart Chaser.
So is Kart Chaser, is that like a website or something?
No, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, so I would be able to get on and watch you race
Yeah.
in Las Vegas. Oh, I'm gonna 100% do that. And in fact, for the podcast, if we get the link or the link, we can put it in there. Like, we can say like, hey, make sure to check this out when Max races, so other people could watch too. That'll be super exciting. So I guess you're looking forward to Las Vegas. So tell me, how many wins do you have? Do you keep a record?
So the past year I've been struggling, but the years before I've been doing good, and I got 1 win, and others are a lot of podiums.
Excellent. So podiums are like just in Formula One, where is it the top 3 or top 4?
Top 3.
Okay, make the podium. And so pretty much anyone in that top 3 is a pretty good driver. So how, okay, I gotta ask, because I'm sure people would want to know, have you ever been in a wreck or an accident?
I actually flipped.
You flipped your go-kart? How did that happen? Tell me about
I was
it.
in a smaller go-kart
Okay.
when I was 5 or 6. A slow kid spun in front of me, and I went over him and I flipped.
Oh my God, were you pretty, was it scary?
Yeah.
It seems like it would be pretty scary, but I'm assuming, did you have any injuries or you were okay?
I was okay.
Okay. And that's like we said, you wear helmets, and so that's why you wear the safety equipment, because you never know if you get in a wreck, you could be hurt. So, well, that's super exciting. So tell me about what's your proudest moment in go-kart racing? Do you have like one victory that you were like way behind, you came back, or anything, or victory you led the whole way, or something like that?
My proudest moment is when I was in races. There's these things called heat.
Mm-hmm.
And I would keep getting second and second and second, and in the final where it mattered most, I got first.
Ooh, that's pretty good. I know it from running track, you have heats to get into the final, and it's always so disappointing. You're like, oh, I can't get it. So you did that second, and then when it mattered the most, the final one, you got first place. That's awesome. Do you have a trophy room or a place where you keep your trophies or medals or
It's my
anything?
bedroom.
Your bedroom, excellent. So do you have some up on like a bookshelf or a shelf or something? I would love to see those sometime. You'll have to send me a picture of those. So I saw a picture of your car. It looks pretty, do you just have one go-kart, or do you have more than one go-karts?
I have one go-kart,
Okay.
but every 4 races they give me a new one.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. So, and it looked like it was painted or had decals on it. Do you guys do that yourself, or you have sponsors, or how does that work?
Sponsors.
Okay,
I'm sponsored by Burrell Art.
very cool. What's Burrell Art?
They're a big racing company. They make parts, and they have chassis, and they race them in America and Europe.
That's pretty exciting. So I guess getting sponsors is a big part of, because that's how you, obviously, you get equipment and money and stuff like that. So do you see yourself continuing this all through you know, as you're schooling and maybe even try to make a career out of racing?
Yes.
So what's your ultimate goal then? What would you like to do? What would be your ultimate goal when you're an adult?
My ultimate goal is to be in IndyCar, NASCAR, or Formula One.
Oh, that would be super cool. That would be really, really cool. Do you have a preference for any of those, or?
No, not really.
About the experience of, like, I know you said you started when you were very young. How did you just decided you liked it and then you wanted to continue going?
Yes.
So what were some of the first, how did you actually get into the, because I know it's one thing to get in a go-kart and drive, but how did you get into racing?
My dad brought me when I was 4.
Okay.
And then when I was 5, I did my first national race at the same track.
Okay.
And I got second.
So 5 years old, you got second place. At that point, you're just hooked on it, right?
Yes.
So let me ask you this, because I meant to ask you this when we were talking fitness. And you also mentioned that, so on race days, you said you wake up pretty early. Do you guys have to, is that because you have to be at the track at a certain time? Or do you have a special breakfast or nutrition routine that you go through?
It's more, we have to get to the